Hello and welcome to MCC TV International Show. My name is John David. I'm the Business Department Coordinator, teach Economics and Statistics, and also I'm the host for this show. This show today is a very special show because we do have a very special individual on this show. Today's show is about Muscatine Police Department and their involvement in diversity issue with diverse groups, and we're going to talk about this, but our guest today is a very special individual to Muscatine and also to the Muscatine Police Department. Our guest today is the Chief of the Police, Brett Talkington. How are you, Brett?
Good, John. How are you today?
Good.
I appreciate you having me on today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to have you with us, and it's my pleasure to have the show talking about the Muscatine Police Department here and your involvement and your department involvement in many issues, including diversity and with diverse groups. But as usual, we're going to give our audience some idea about you. So if we start with some sort of introduction.
Okay, yeah. My name is Brett Talkington. I'm the police chief here in Muscatine. I've been in Muscatine for a little over 27 years now and got hired in 1988, fresh out of UNI, and I graduated from UNI. Went to the academy in 1988 and started my career in July of 1988. I worked my way up through the ranks at the Muscatine Police Department, and here I am today being the police chief, and I've been that way since 2011.
Thank you. Welcome. Well, as a police chief, describe your day for us and for our audience. So what do you do every day? I mean, what kind of responsibilities do you have as a chief?
Normally when I come in during the morning, I usually get there between 7:30 every day, sometimes 8 o'clock. But I get there and then I coordinate with my assistant chief and my captain on a daily basis to see what is going on within the department, to see if there's anything that we need to look at from the night before. A lot of administrative duties with, obviously with paperwork, and I do a lot of meetings throughout the city with different department heads and different outlets in the city. So, and at times I'll meet with business people as well, and I'll go talk at certain functions.
And I noticed, for example, several times I went to the city council meetings, and I saw you there too. So is that something that you have to be there, or I mean, just if?
Yeah, actually, we're required to be there by city statute. At least somebody from the police department is. I can't remember exactly what they call it, the sergeant at arms for the city council. But yeah, and we've also started going to the in-depth council meetings as well too. Okay. So I know there were some concerns, across the country, there's things going on within city council meetings. So now they've asked us to actually be involved with the in-depth too. So if I can't make it, I'll send somebody else on the department. So, which I think is good. I think other people on the department need to get involved with some of the things that I'm doing, because I'm obviously not going to be here, other than a few more years, and somebody else needs to learn these roles as well so they know what to do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Chief, would like to, first of all, before we continue, I know that this week is the Police Memorial Week. I'm not quite sure how many people are aware of that as our audience here in Muscatine, or even in different places. Can you give us an idea about this Memorial Week, and how, is there like certain things that you have to do this week, certain activities? So it would be nice just if you share that information with us, please.
Sure. May 10th through the 16th this week is considered Police Officer Memorial Week, and that's throughout the nation, not just in Muscatine. What it does is it honors the fallen officers that have given the ultimate sacrifice of their lives. And in Muscatine, we've had, just in the city itself, we've had 4 officers killed in the line of duty. So, and in the county, I believe, has had 1, and then I think there's been a state trooper as well too. So at least 6 within the county, but 4 within the city. So what we do is we honor them. Last night, actually, we had a memorial service out at Fuller Park. And we did a picnic for all the retired guys as well as the department itself, just to kind of get people together and do the memorial service out there, and cooked hamburgers and hot dogs and laughed a lot about some of the stuff that used to go on in the department.
Time.
Right. Yep, just have a good time, but to actually honor those officers as well. And we named all those officers off last night.
That's great. I mean, it's sad, but I always say, those of you who decide to serve as, whether it's in the police department, in the fire department, and so on, I know that you guys put your life to save everyone else. So no matter how many times we say thank you, I don't think we can say it enough.
Well, I
for all of
appreciate
you.
that.
And
That means a lot, and I'll
this
take
is-
that
yeah.
back to the guys and girls on the department.
Yeah, and that's definitely, it's from heart to the heart.
Sure.
I just
I
want
greatly
everybody to
appreciate
know
that.
that, because I think sometimes we tend to forget to say thank you when it's due. I mean, and that's very important. Okay, if somebody is watching us and he or she is thinking to become a police or part of the police force, what they have to do, what will be the process to become a police, for example?
You would have to apply at City Hall. You can actually do it online too. You can apply through the Human Resources Department at City Hall, and what they will do is once you apply, they will let you know when the next testing process is. Normally the civil service list is good for a year. So right now we actually have a certified list that runs, I believe, through October. So we will be testing again sometime in the fall to redo the list to make sure we have an updated list of people. The process is after that, if you do get hired, there's certain criteria that we go through. You have to sit and reach, you have to do a 1.5 mile run, you have to do push-ups and sit-ups. There's 4 physical requirements, that are required, and they go by age groups. So obviously the older you get, the less you have to do, which makes sense. I know that because I'm up there now myself. So, but yeah, once that process is done and you pass that, we have a written test. You have to pass that, and then the list is given to civil service to have a list of at least 10 people that are qualified to become police officers. So once that list is done and it's been certified, we go through an interview process at that point with members of the police department. And then we will come up with our own list and kind of move them around. Civil service just okays the list. We actually group them where we think they should be after the interview. And that goes by qualifications and all that good stuff. So, and then once we hire, if we have an opening, we will hire somebody, send them to the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy, which is in Johnston, Iowa, and that's a 12-week course. And once they graduate from the 12-week course, there's a 4-month field training officer program that they have to go through. They have to ride with 3 different officers for those 4 months. Then once they're out on their own, they're considered manpower at that point. But until then, they're not. So basically the process is, anywhere from 8 to 12 months before they're actually considered a full-fledged police officer working out on their own.
My next question is, why did you decide to go into the police force? Is it something like you had since you were young, or it just happened coincidentally? Or?
Well, I was kind of intrigued with police work when I was a kid. I don't know if it's kind of ages me, but I used to watch like Hill Street Blues and shows like that.
Yeah.
Adam 12, which is really aging
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So I used to watch stuff like that, and then when I became a little bit older in high school, I had a couple of Ames police officers that I played fast pitch softball with during the summers. And I got to riding with them a couple times, and it's just something that it hit me as like, this is really what I want to do. So I went to school for it, and here I am today, 27 years later. So
thank you for your service.
It's been a good career.
Thank you for your service. Well, do you deal with diverse people, like at work, for example, or?
Sure. Yeah, we deal with a variety of different people, with the Hispanic population in town, which is, I believe, about 15% now. We're also seeing a lot more Liberians in town, and yeah, we definitely deal with them. We're trying to do a better job of communicating with the leaders of those, of them.
Of the community.
Yeah, because I know with like the Liberians, there's a pretty structured hierarchy with Liberians, so it's something that I'm still learning myself. So what we're trying to do is get together with them as a police department and a city, to figure out the differences in the cultures so we can better understand what theirs are and they can better understand what's expected when they're here. So we can kind of come into a happy medium as to, because we don't want anybody like on a traffic stop or something. A lot of these communities, they feel they have to come back to the police car. Well, we don't want that. And it's just the opposite. So it's just more of an educational type thing.
Yeah.
And which is good because, again, it's all new to our officers as well. So we're still in that process right now of doing that. So, and I think we've made some pretty good strides so far, but we can always do better.
Yeah. The educational part is very important. I mean, to every part of the community. I mean, because with what's the sad thing that what we hear on the news always about, all the problems between people and the police forces and so on. I mean, those kind of news always fuel more and more feelings. And to me, I mean, in any group of people, you can find the good and the bad, and unfortunately, the media concentrate on the bad instead of the good.
They do, and that's really making it really difficult for law enforcement officers right now throughout the country, let alone in Muscatine, but anywhere else. And 99% of the officers out there are doing what they're supposed to do, but they're not getting any credit for that. All they're doing is looking at that 1% or less than 1% of officers that aren't doing things right, but that's in any profession, but ours is a little more obviously in the limelight right now. So hopefully it'll get better. I mean, I don't know, the state of the country now with law enforcement is very difficult, but we do the best with what we have, and we do go out there and try to do a good job every day. So.
Thank you. And I know and I'm aware of certain programs because I have been attending meetings, and during those meetings you were there and talk about different programs. So Muscatine Police Department has different programs to deal with diverse groups and also with everyone here in Muscatine. And I would like to concentrate on some of those programs. If you give our audience some idea about each one of them, I know that Muscatine, as we said, the police department under your leadership are trying to create, for example, walking school bus. So let's talk a little bit about that program.
Yeah, we actually are coordinating with the school district in helping kids get to school in a safe manner, because sometimes, how kids are, they dart across in front of a car, or they don't cross at the crosswalk. So what we're doing is we're trying to educate the kids. What we're doing is a couple officers are going out to different locations, and we're meeting them at like the bus stops a ways from school, and then we're actually walking these kids with other adults and parents and the school district people, just to get them to school safely. And I think it's been a good program, and like I say, the school resource officers are involved with it as well as some of the officers on the street too. So I think it's very important, to build that relationship with these kids and, to get them to school safe, because obviously the kids are the most important ones in our community.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%. Coffee with the Police. Tell us more about this program.
Well, it's kind of funny. I get these police magazines, obviously, and I was flipping through one a while back. It's probably been a year and a half ago, and because we've been doing this for a while. And I saw this program that this chief started in California somewhere. So I got to reading the article, and I thought, that's really a good idea. I said that would be good to get different officers at different locations throughout the city, just to either have a pop or a coffee, just to sit down and ask people or have them approach you, just to see what some of the issues are that they think are issues. Something that we might not think is an issue, but they do. No matter how minute we might think it is, it's obviously an issue to them, or they wouldn't be telling us about it. So we're building relationships with people that way as well. And it's just, I haven't done it myself for a little bit, but I plan on doing one coming up here. And it's just good to see people coming out and just talking to you and saying, hey, you guys are doing a good job, or you're doing a terrible job. We get both ends of it. Yeah. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for is, what do you think we can do better to better the community with what the police department is doing? So I'm always looking for input too as well. So if I don't have all the answers. So.
Yeah, well that's okay.
And if I did,
okay.
I wouldn't be here. I'd be really rich. But I'm always looking for questions, comments, concerns, and then even if it's not a police-related issue, we can help direct them in the right direction. If it's, I'm mad because my leaves aren't picked up in time, we field those calls. Well, that's not our department, but here's who you can contact. So it's more of a networking for these people too, and at least they would know where to contact somebody the next time.
Yeah, and it's a great way to establish that relationship with the citizens of Muscatine and get the feedback, as you said. That's
Right.
very important. So basically, so far we talk about 2 programs, and I know we have other programs we want to talk about, that shows that Muscatine Police Department is not just like a police driving, a police car trying to stop someone who's speeding, for example, and give them a ticket. But there are a lot of great programs that you guys are managing, trying to get some information back from people, some feedback, so that this information can be used to improve your service.
Right.
And that is very important. Another program that I heard you talking about is that Park and Walk program. So give us some idea, please.
Yeah, I started it's basically, it's not a new concept. It's basically walking the beat for a half hour a day, like they used to do 30, 40 years ago. And we developed some good relationships with some of the people that we're getting out and talking to. And again, what it does is the problem with some of I'm not going to say newer guys because some of the older guys are the same way. There's a barrier between them and the public, and that's that squad car. So I'm trying to take that barrier away and say, hey, get out for a half hour a day. Get out in a neighborhood. There doesn't need to be a business there. Just get out in the neighborhood. If there's a bunch of kids out or at a park, I encourage them to get out at any park, Weed Park, if there's kids around, people around, just to basically communicate with the people and, ask them again, how are things going? And just to talk to people, because a lot of guys tend to forget the people that you're talking to are the ones that are going to provide you information if they know you on a personal level.
Yes.
So always remember that is what I tell my officers. You treat people the way you want to be treated because they're going to give you information and they may save you at some point during an investigation because the people that call us are the ones that solve the crimes because they give us the information first. Yeah. So that's the kind of things I'm looking for. We also do business checks throughout the community. Even if it's just for 5 minutes to get out at a hotel at 4 o'clock in the morning to communicate with the person at the desk, what's your name, what nights do you work, if you ever have any problems, give us a holler. If you see something out of the ordinary, call us. So it's just the little things like that, just the communication back and forth between people that I'm really trying to push within the police department, because it is about community involvement and community policing. And I think we've kind of gotten away from that in the past, and I'm trying to push for more of it now. So I think it's some good programs. We're always looking for new ideas, and I'm open to any new ideas, and that's why I read these magazines, because somebody else has got a good idea. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, so I'm going to use their idea.
Use it, yeah,
So.
yeah. That's true. The open house is really one of my favorites, especially my kids' favorite.
Right.
I have been taking them for the past 3 years. I mean, they're 6 years old, twin boys, and they have been participating for the past 3 years. They love that day. So tell our audience more about that, because I'm not quite sure if everybody in Muscatine knows about the open house, but every year I bring the kids there. I mean, I see a lot of people around, a lot of parents with their kids and so on. And that's a joint program between, I think, the police and the fire department, right?
Yep, we started doing actually before, probably about 3-4 years ago, we were doing it separately. And I got to thinking, then I got with the fire chief at the time, Jerry Evers, who is the fire chief now.
Yeah.
And I said, we're kind of doing this the wrong way, I think, because you're doing it one weekend, you're doing it this weekend. So we're not hitting everybody at once. I said, so let's join this and do this as a dual open house. So during the fall, we normally have it, I think it's in October, don't quote me on the month, but it is sometime in the fall because I know it's football season. Yeah. So we get together and we do an open house from noon to 3 o'clock, and they do their stuff on the fire department side, and the whole building is open for people to come and go. And we do demonstrations for like our special response team. We have all our stuff out on the table, and all the kids think that stuff's really cool.
Yeah.
And we have all our squad cars out. We have our MRAP out. We have all kinds of stuff out. So our animal control officers there. So everybody gets involved with it, and just kind of gives people the idea of, or gives them the chance to see what we really do on a daily basis. And again, it's a meeting the officers, because we have a lot of officers that volunteer their time to do it. So it's been a very positive thing. And I think last year I'd venture to guess we had 300 people last year come through. So, and that's a good thing. And the kids they really enjoy it.
They love it, yeah.
Yeah, the fire department does some great things, and they have some more neat stuff than we do, I think, at times. But we always try to outdo each other, you see. But no, it's all good. So it's a good community involvement, and a lot of, I see a lot of new faces every year doing it. So, and it's good to see you guys come out and support the police and fire.
It's definitely a great, I think, educational experience for kids, which is basically, we're talking about the future of our country, and also the future of Muscatine, if we just want to talk about Muscatine. I mean, to see the kids, they are learning about what police officers do on a daily basis, or what firefighters do on a daily basis. That's I think a great experience. If I'm a kid, most probably I would be really amazed by hearing the stories and seeing this thing, and sitting in a squad car. I mean it would be
turning
really
the siren on.
Agree.
Scaring everybody in front of them.
The academy, the police academy, is it once a year? I mean.
Yeah, we were running it once a year. We've had a little bit of trouble in the last couple of years of getting enough people to do it. And we have to have between 10 and 15 to actually make it worthwhile to do it. We don't want to do it 3 or 4 people, because it is, it's pretty demanding. We had done it for 8 weeks. Actually, it was longer than that at one point, but then we cut it down to 8 to see if we'd draw more interest in it. Well, we're finding out, I think, that we've hit a lot of people, because we've been doing it for quite a few years. So we're trying to generate some more interest in that at this point. And we've also talked with Jerry Evers, the fire chief, about doing a joint venture with that too as well, and maybe cutting it down to 6 weeks, or even 8 weeks with 4 weeks each. So we're looking for some different ways to do it, but we're obviously looking for input on that, and we'll be advertising for that again here somewhat.
So what would, like, for example, if somebody wants to join the academy, what would they do? I mean, they will be like in a squad car with the police?
Well, what they do is, it depends on how we would gear the outline for the course, but yeah, you still have the chance to go out and ride with the officers too, for a couple times during those weeks. So I think that's the most enjoyable part for them, but there's also classroom time.
Yeah, classroom,
which I think for a lot of people is enjoyable, because they don't really, again, know what we do. They watch TV. They don't see what we really do. So a lot of those TV shows really hurt us, to be quite honest with you. So
yeah, they show everything most probably the opposite of what you really do.
We can't get fingerprints off certain things that they can on TV, that CSI stuff. So yeah, that kind of hurts us. So then they get mad. Well, why they do it on TV? Well, this is real life. But I see. So that's what we're trying to explain to them. This is really real world stuff. So it is a dangerous job. We do the best we can with what we have, and we've got a great group of guys and girls on our department as well as the fire department, and we have a really good relationship with the fire department right now too. So as well as the sheriff's department. So it's a group effort. It really is in this county, and I think it's really getting good.
It takes everybody to make sure that the community is a safe community.
Right.
And I know, again, several people from your department also had a special relation with MCC here, the college, because in the past, I mean, we had several people from the police department teaching classes here at MCC. So that kind of relationship is really great relationship between every institution in the city of Muscatine.
Right.
It makes Muscatine a special place to live in.
It does.
And to grow a family.
We've had a great relationship with MCC. You and I call him Buzz. That's how
I call him Buzz too.
Buzz is Buzz. Most people know him as Buzz. Bob Albies.
I will tell you one thing. I met Bob 20 years ago when I started to work here at the college, and I will definitely miss him. I mean, he has been a great mentor to me as a person too. I mean, when I started to work here, we had a great relation, and I saw Bob going from department to department all the way up until he became the president of MCC, and I will definitely miss him, and I'm sure a lot of people will miss him too. He's a great guy. So, Bob, I mean, from here we can say also many thanks for everything you did for MCC and also representing MCC in the community, doing whatever you are supposed to do. So many thanks. But yeah, as
Yeah,
you
and
said,
I echo what you just said too, because he's been very good to the police department when we need rooms for training or whatever it may be, and he's been very accommodating. So I do appreciate that, Bob, if you're going to watch this. So.
And that's again MCC. I always tell people there's a reason why we say Muscatine community, because we are part of that community. So as we are going towards like the end of the show, I usually give my guests a minute or two to say whatever they want to say. So those are like your free 1-2 minutes.
Okay.
So it's up to you what you want to say.
Well, I'd like to say to the people that are watching in the community, we appreciate all your input. If you ever have anything you think is out of the ordinary with anything on the street or in a business, or you think a car's not supposed to be in the neighborhood, I mean, we need to know about those things. A lot of times people say, I wished I had a call, but I didn't want to bother you. We'd rather be bothered with something that's not a problem than to find out later that guy was committing a crime in your neighborhood or down the block. So that's one of the biggest things I stress to people when I talk to them is call us if you think something's out of the ordinary, because if we don't know about it, we can't help. So we need to know about those things. And people are doing a lot better job of it. 20 years ago, we'd go to a shooting scene and they'd be like, they knew where the gun was because they hid it, but they wouldn't tell us because that's your job. Well, we're getting more involvement now with the community, and that goes back to getting the community involved with what's going on. And it's your community. It's not just our community. So you have a big stake in what's going on in this community. So, take some pride in calling in if you have something going on, because we'd love to deal with people that are doing things wrong in town.
Yeah. Well, as we come to almost the end of this show, one of the things that I would like to say, thank you, Chief Talkington. I mean, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to share all the information that you shared with me and our audience too. Hopefully this will give a better idea, better understanding of what Muscatine Police Department is up to and what they are doing, and all these programs, they're gonna bring both sides together, because each one of those programs going to lead to more communication between all sides. So to our audience, as I always say, if you have any question or comments, please call me at 563-288-6064. Or you can email me at jdebit@eicc.edu. Till next time, Muscatine, bye-bye.